see the impeachment that are here. You can see things that are here. Nobody could remove anything. Is that how I come to work? They just came suddenly, started demolition. You know, if my brother didn't have a brother like me, they would. He wanted to enter here. They said, no, you can't enter. We are caught in junction. What about caught in junction that allows somebody to enter into another person's property? They seize him for removing his things and everything, and demolishing everywhere. What about caught in junction is that? We are finished in the country.
That is Peter Obi said his younger brother's house company has been demolished in Lagos. That's Peter Obi on the site of the demolitions. For me, is it a case of lawlessness? We're living in a country where there is no law, or it's just a case of intimidation? Which one? Because I don't understand. It's more like intimidation, or if I say, somebody will say, is it the only one? Elder people's houses has been demolished. Hey, think about it. Demolishing somebody's houses, properties without legal backing, without war? Is that how it should be, or is that how it meant to be? Now, let me see. This is what Peter Obi, the statement Peter Obi put up today as this happened. Obi said, my youngest brother's house in Lagos has been demolished. No legal backing for demolition. Why, Nigeria? Why? That's the demolition. You watch the picture, you see the video, right? Now, this is his statement. Let me see what he said. He said, any society where lawlessness overrides the rule of law is not destined to be a haven for investors. Of course. Why is Tinubu struggling to get investors? Recent reports showing that Nigerians' human rights indicators have worsened merely highlight severe shortfalls in government protection for civil liberties, personalities, scrutinies, and basic living standards. Now, if somebody like Peter Obi or his brother could go through these demolitions completely, somebody of this standard, you would have thought that if there was reasons to demolish his house or properties, there should have been legal backing, there should have been court order, there should have been a court order to demolish the house, right? But if this is happening and they are complaining there was nothing like that, there's nothing as such, what is ordinary person going through? What do you think? Both the one you heard of, the one you're not even seeing that people are going through, because everything cannot come on social media. So do you know what ordinary persons is going through because of this? There is no law. Now let's continue. I know what I have been. Yes, okay. I'm not even saying this. I know what I have been going through as a person in abuse of my human rights, just because I contested a presidential election, which I have legitimate rights, of course, to do. So I imagine what small businesses, owners, regular citizens, and vulnerable communities face every day. If this level of lawlessness can happen to someone with a registered company and legitimate means, what hope does the ordinary Nigerian have? Similar to what I said, and I even read this. Can you imagine? Now, this morning, my youngest brother called me frantically, informing me that a group of people had invaded his company property in Ikeja, Lagos, and were demolishing the building. He had just come in from Port Harcourt and was denied entry to the property by security men who told him the building was being pulled down. They even informed him that his demolition had started stated over the weekend as a peace-loving Nigeria. He quickly started processing to go to court immediately, not knowing what must have resulted in this, as they moved fast to destroy his home without any restraint. I rushed to Lagos from Abuja after the call this morning and headed straight to the property. On arrival, I was met by security people who tried to bar me from entering the property. I humbly pleaded with them that the property belonged to my brother's company And from the records, the company had owned the property for over a decade. They told me they had a court judgment, and immediately I requested it. You would not believe that the court judgment, the claim was issued against an unknown person. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Court judgment was for an unknown person, and you went straight to somebody else's properties to demolish. What the level of injustice is this? What kind of intimidation is this? Issued against an unknown person and squatters. I went further to ask about a demolition order or permit, and there was no. I rushed to Lagos from Abuja after the call this morning. And headed straight to the property. On arrival, I was met by security people who tried to. How do you sue an unknown person? Sorry about that. How do you sue an unknown person? How does a court issue a judgment in such a farce of a case? No one was served, no name was written, yet they showed up with excavators and began destroying a structure that had stood for over 15 years. I immediately asked the continues in come and demolish the house. I immediately told them to whoever it is that I would like to speak with them, if they can call my number, which I shared with the excavator, so that I can speak with whoever gave them the order to demolish the property. I stood there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. waiting to get a call at least, and nobody called or came. The contractors even said he did not know who sent him. Hey, see wala. You don't know who sent you to go and demolish somebody's property. Two men later came and said they would like us to go to a police station. I asked if they even had a demolition order, but they had nothing. The whole situation screamed of coordinated lawlessness and impunity. Our country has become lawless. I just stated reminiscing about how just over the weekend I had a meeting with someone told me how he has investments in Ghana, Senegal, and the Benin Republic, but won't touch Nigerians despite his market being here. I asked him why. His answer was piercing. Nigeria is a lawless country. Until we have laws that protect people, nobody will invest in Nigeria. Get this level of lawlessness. What kind of country are we trying to build when the right of citizens, their lives, their properties, and their faces and their voices are trampled upon daily? I remain committed to a better Nigeria when lawlessness will be a thing of the past. Protection of life and property, respect for human rights, care for the less privileged, and basic education for all children. A new Nigeria is possible. Can you imagine? Now, if this can happen to Peter Obi, his brother, what do you think will happen to you? Who is just managing, struggling? You just get a place in Lagos where you do this business. You just come overnight and just demolish. Nothing you can do. Who are you going to talk to? Who? What connections do you have? Just like that. Now wow. This is why you see Tinubu is struggling, going everywhere looking for investors, and they are not coming because of this lawlessness. There is no law that protects lives and property, that protects people's investment. This one now, who is going to compensate you? What is going to happen at the court? What is going to happen? Anyways, let's watch and see and how they're able to resolve this. Please share this video